To record a meeting.
I was not ready for that.
Well, hello.
World.
This is a pilot podcast for Tech Futurists. We're just two college graduates that like tech, and basically we are hoping for better tech for on a consumer level, since we're just got out of college. And I am your host today,
And
Jack,
consumers.
and my co-host. Yeah, and consumer,
Jacob.
and my co-host. So,
Jacob.
yeah. So basically, today, as the pilot episode, we will basically talk about our daily tech, basically the tech we use every day and the tech we have currently. And I think we should start off the topic with the phones we have, or phone. I am using the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, and as you may later on know, I'm a huge Samsung fanboy,
And that's an
and
understatement.
it is an understatement. My goal in future is to have everything Samsung, since a lot of the things they have are like home appliances, from dishwashers to ovens to microwaves to a washer, dryer, TV, a Roomba, even a freaking air filtered closet.
A Samsung carpet, a Samsung
Well, they're not there
router,
yet.
the Samsung ISP, the whole
They're not.
shebang.
They're not there yet. They only have all the electronic stuff.
Yet.
So yet. That's why I said yet. And I've been using Samsung for I would say more than 7 years. Because I start off with an LG Sidekick, then I went on to an iPhone 4. No, 3. Sorry, 3. Then I went on
And
to
you regret those days.
Well, yeah, it was different, and then I went on to Samsung the S3.
But it is
And
good to have iPhone knowledge.
oh yeah. From the S3, I went on to the iPhone 4S because the S3 broke. Then from there, I waited for a couple years before the S6 came out. Then I was the whole train of S6 to S8 to S10, which is my current phone. And Jacob over here, unlike me, he is
I'm
a
more of a
Google
Google fanboy.
exactly.
I have lots of Google items. I have the Google Pixel Buds. I have the Nexus 5X. No, guys, I wasn't talking to you. I have the Pixel 2. I have the Pixel 4 XL. I have the Nest Home Hub. I have a Nest Mini and Google Home Mini. I have the Stadia with the Chromecast Ultra, and I'm looking into the Google TV because it does look neat. May wait for it to get Stadia support. Phone-wise, though, so I started with the Firefly way back when, if you remember that. It had like 5 buttons on it. Then I actually used a BlackBerry. I don't remember the exact model, but it was a touch screen. And like the screen would click. Actually, I think I went to like this phone that could slide up and then to the side and then BlackBerry. Then, so like I don't have any iPhone knowledge, but I have used the iTouch, like the first generation iTouch.
I mean, those
then,
were the days with iTouch.
Yeah, the
Everyone had one.
iTouch. Yeah, iTouches were
Everyone
great.
had one.
At
Everyone
least
had
until
one.
Android came to be.
Yeah.
So then I moved to Galaxy S3.
Oh, you still have it.
Yeah, I do still have it. I actually needed to put because the battery would barely last like 2 hours. As like it was not good. Then I moved. Then I started my Google line and went to the Nexus 5X, Pixel 2, Pixel 4 XL. My next one will probably be the Pixel 6, assuming they don't screw too much up with that. And I'll probably always be staying on Android because I'm also an Android developer.
I mean, Google has been on and off with how they want their phones to be. Uh,
I
like
think for 3 and 4, it was kind of consistent. They did add a lot to 4, and while a lot of people aren't super happy with like the whole facial unlock thing, I personally love it. I did hate that they did take the fingerprint scanner out because, coming from the Nexus 5X and the Pixel 2, which had fingerprint scanners, my hand would go into my pocket, finger right on the fingerprint scanner, so by the time it was in front of me, it'd be unlocked. But I'm
right,
getting like the same functionality with the Pixel 4 because by the time it's in front of my face, screen's already on, and it takes that same second for it to recognize my face, and it gets it about like 95% of the time, the same kind of unlock ratio that I got on my Pixel 2 and my Nexus.
what's interesting is that the Pixel 4 didn't have a headphone jack, whereas the Pixel 4a, which was announced a couple of weeks ago, had a headphone jack.
Well,
So
all of the A lines have
well, yeah, but I'm just
headphone
like I just find it interesting that the 4 hat didn't have it and the 4a had it, and
Well, it was
it's
the
just
same thing with the Pixel 3. The Pixel 3a has it, and the Pixel 3 doesn't. I mean, my Pixel 2 doesn't have it, and I'm completely fine with that. Because,
well, yeah,
as I
because you
said
got
before, I have Pixel Buds, the second one, and I have Bose headphones, which we'll talk about those two later on.
yeah, but like what I'm trying to say is that the Pixel, for whatever reason, the Pixel and the Pixel A lines are like the A line is meant to be the cheaper version, but
Yeah,
for I
the
feel
more
like
mid-range
yeah, but
phone.
I feel like the A line has better features mainly because it's more not like condensed. Like it's kind of like what I would like to say the Samsung Fan Edition, where they have all the good stuff for cheaper costs. Like
Well,
not I want to
it's
say they
more
like
like the price, like the price is half. So, like you have like I want to say you have less battery, but I do think the A line for Pixel 4 has more battery.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they have all the good points for a cheaper cost, and but the only difference is that from the A line or the Fan Edition for Samsung is that they have the lesser sort of material wise. They're not like the flagship where they have all the good stuff in it. Like I know for
Yeah.
Samsung they have the Snapdragon A653 Plus for the Note Ultra, the 20 Ultra 5G, and with the Fan Edition, they went down to like 860. But I'm just saying, like, it's still a great phone since it's only like $699. But yeah, anyways, the 4A, which is announced a couple weeks ago, including the 5G,
Well, and
both
the
are,
5.
yeah, the 5. I meant to say 5, but I went to 5G. But yeah, and honestly, I'm not gonna go for any of the 5G phones anytime soon
Yeah.
until they make it a standard. Because
Yeah,
like
because right now, if I remember reading correctly, right now, in order to get use out of them, you have to be like basically in a direct line of sight to a cell phone
5G tower,
tower.
yeah, the 5G tower, and you also
Yeah,
have to be in an area with a 5G tower. So
yeah,
if you live in a six, there's no point of getting a 5G phone. You're paying like a couple of $100 more just for the 5G functionality, which isn't really worth it.
yeah.
I would say.
It will definitely becoming a standard as long as. No, I'm not even going to go there. But yeah, it'll definitely become.
The people who knows what's going on,
Yes, thank you, thank you. I didn't want to make any controversial statements.
Well, for those who don't know what's going on with 5G, just look it up yourselves.
Yeah,
Um, just
I don't want to get into that discussion.
I mean, if you guys want us to talk about the 5G controversy, leave in the comments and we'll talk about it in the next video, maybe or so.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun for
Um,
sure.
but yeah, it's definitely going to become a standard because I mean, 4G has, 3G has, 2G has, 1G has.
I mean, not in recent news, but I've heard that Samsung's already been working on 6G. And
Yes, I did hear that too.
yeah, and
I I think it. I think honestly,
I mean, here's the thing.
I don't know. I think
They,
it's the same kind of thing where like they already started working on Android 12, even though Android 11 just came out like a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the same thing with 5G. They've been working 5G for more than 5 years ago for
Yeah, so it'll
smartphones.
take 6 years for 6G to
Who
come
knows?
out.
Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, but 5G is interesting. I personally haven't used 5G, but from what I've seen so far, downloading hundreds of gigabytes in seconds, it's
Well,
ridiculous.
it's the same thing where like going from 3G to 4G, it's the same thing. It's like, oh man, now I could download a movie that normally would take like 2 hours in like 30 minutes. Oh my God! And
I know,
now,
yeah, yeah,
it's just like that same kind of
but
change.
the crazy thing is that it's faster than Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'd say it kind of depends more on the kind of Wi-Fi network you're paying for. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I know what I mean, but like fiber optic, well, I'm forgetting how the speed it can go up to, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not like 1,000 gigabyte down like 5G is.
Yeah, 1,000 gigabytes a second. Oh my
But yeah,
God.
exactly.
God, can you imagine downloading anything with 1,000 gigabytes per second?
Exactly. You use up your data so quickly.
Not only that, I mean, no, I'm not even talking about that part. I'm talking about like, hey, I want to download a movie. Done.
Exactly. That's what everyone said. You literally download it in seconds. Just thinking about
That
what.
would be less than a second, considering that
Yeah, but
a
no,
movie is going to be like probably I'd want to say anywhere between like 500 megabytes to like I'd say max 2 gigabytes.
yeah. Well, I mean, like some Netflix shows take up like I said, 500 to like 2 gigabytes, and that's just
Well,
an episode.
well, I feel like with some things like Netflix, I think there's a lot more going on in the background. Not
Hmm.
that I completely know, but as an Android developer, there's just some things where like this is how some things usually kind of work that I
Hmm.
just know of because I've been in the field for 7, 8 years now.
Exactly. And you just graduated. How can you be that much into
I
Android support?
started young.
Now, as if you've heard from Jacob that he has the Google Home Nest and the Google Home Mini. I also have a Google Home Mini.
Oh,
Uh,
real quick, I also forgot. I also have a Lenovo smart clock with
yes,
Google Assistant.
yes, exactly. If you haven't guessed from this, we both rely on our Google smart homes a lot. I would say.
Well, I just say
Uh,
assistant because everything you can ask on the homes, you can ask directly on the phones.
yeah, but
Minus using Bixby, of course.
well, yeah, well, Bixby is an experiment that didn't go so well, but like comparatively, the Bixby compared to Siri does a lot more phone functionality, where I can tell Bixby to like lock the phone and do like other phone related stuff.
Yeah, but
Whereas,
some of that, like locking your phone, you still have to press a button to activate Bixby, right?
oh no, I can just really like a high Bixby, which I don't have it turned on right now because it's
And
not
I
that
think
great.
that in itself kind of goes to prove how, like, yes,
It's
you have these added functionalities, but
it's not
you
that
don't. There's
yeah.
no reason for them.
It's not. It's. They need a better AI for it. If they have somehow worked with Google Assistant, I feel like it'll be a lot better. But besides the point, the reason why I say we have the Google Home because it's the home assistants. Like some other people will have an Alexa versus
Yeah.
the Google Home, and I just want to point out that we both of us have Google Homes. Um, and we have smart lights, and I use it, and he does too, a
Yes.
lot. Like I'll be home, and I'll be
Well,
like,
literally every day.
yeah, I'll be like,
I
you
have the
know,
lights go on at like by 6 a.m. All my lights are at 100%.
yeah, yeah. So like we have set routines up, or I don't have routines up yet, but because I don't have the right smart lights for routines, which is
Well,
the
I believe you could set. Well, I was going to say I believe you could set routines directly through Google Assistant, but I don't know if you could set them to run at certain times.
I think yeah, no, you can set routines by saying I'm not gonna say the trigger word. Google, good morning, or Google
Oh
good
no, yeah,
afternoon.
you could set
Yeah,
those
those
routines,
up.
and I
Yeah,
think some of those are already kind of built in. Like you could say good morning, and it will go through this routine. But I'm forgetting if you can set up like times.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I don't.
Like
Well,
I have Philips Hue, so that's how I'm able to have the timed. Like at 5:50, the lights will turn on to like 10% and go up an
oh
extra
yeah,
10%
yeah,
every time.
yeah. The Philips Hue are pretty cool because they have colors and they have routines. But
Yeah, but I don't
they're
have the colors.
oh no, you don't. No, no. I do have the Philips, not the Hue version, but I'm forgetting what exactly it's called. But you can buy
Life
them.
Life is Good one.
No, no,
The
no, no. That's my normal lights. That's my
uh,
normal Google lights. The Philips one I have, I'm forgetting what exactly it's called, but it's the one you can buy at Home Depot, and it's at a fraction of what you paid for the Philips Hue. It was only $10 and have all the colors and all the things. So yeah,
yeah,
I was like, huh, why is this so expensive? Well, because it's connected to Wi-Fi, and it is also connected to the Google Assistant. But the reason why it's so cheap because Philips Hue you need its own bridge.
yeah, yeah. Which when I got this, I had to get a bridge. Like I had to get the bridge separately,
And those aren't
and
cheap. Those aren't cheap.
yeah, like don't get me wrong, I'm happy with everything right now because the other part of the bridge. So one of the other things I have is like a Razer mouse, and again, we'll get into that later. Um, and I could literally set up the lights with it, or like everything to work with my Philips Hue lights, but it all kind of goes through the bridge.
Yeah, and that's the bridge is basically the connector between you and the lights.
But yeah,
And yeah, so whereas my Philips light bulbs, they just connect to Google Assistant, the Google Home Assistants, and I'll just like say turn the lights to blue or a specific color like a royal blue or a maroon. It'll just change the lights to that. It's the
maroon.
it's cool, but sadly I don't use it as much, mainly because I don't know. I just come home, just turn on lights, and that's it.
Yeah, there's a certain level of like RGB lights are amazing, but then there's like, and everyone starts off thinking that. I mean, we do too.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
even if we were to go to look for lights now, we would definitely also look at RGB ones.
oh
But
yeah.
then, like, after having them for like a week or two, it's like, just turn them on. I don't care about the color. I just want to see.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, unless we both become streamers, and that's a different story. If
Well,
we become,
even then, we probably would just like get the lights and just set them to like a single color, like go into streaming mode, and it will just show up to this one color. But like default will just be like normal yellow white light.
yeah, but the one thing I do like about that is Philips lights is that you can set like the time, as you said. Like when I used to work because of COVID, but when I used to work, I would have the lights on like sunrise, so it will light up as if the right, even though the sun wasn't
Yeah.
up like around like 5 or 6 in the morning. I have that on, and it works. I would say it works better than an alarm clock,
Oh no,
honestly.
yeah, 100%. I did the same thing, except because I normally wake up at 6, I couldn't have it stay with sunrise because sometimes at 6 the sun isn't up.
Yeah. So yeah, so I would say if you need a better form of alarm clock and you have some to spare, I would say
Also,
definitely
just
get.
ask Google to set the alarm.
True, true. But if you need an extra form or alarm, I would say get the Philips light bulbs to set the routine up for that. It's quite good.
Yeah, definitely. When I graduated college, one of my first purchases for myself, like I have a Best Buy nearby where I live, and before all of this started, I would like every Saturday, I would go to Best Buy
Yeah,
just to browse sometimes. But like the first and second time that I went there, I got Philips Hue light bulbs. I got one to make sure I liked it, and then I was like, okay, I'm sold.
I think both of us know that our first option really wasn't the Philips Hue lights. It was more of the nano leaves.
Yeah, but one after seeing the price,
Oh, they're really
recently
expensive.
graduated.
They're really. If you don't know what nano leaves are, they're basically RGB panels. Uh, Most of them are triangular ones. If you do see people who
No,
stream
there's
and
also
has it,
square ones and
yeah, but like
hexagonal ones. I recently went on their site because I was like, well, but still kind of. I mean, the price hasn't changed.
it
I mean,
hasn't now.
they're still expensive, but they do have these other shapes now.
I mean, like for give our listeners a rough amount for how many panels it is. Like, let's say, would you say like 5 panels are like $120 or so?
Um, I don't, I don't know. It wasn't that much. I think I saw one where it was like, yeah, the one I was looking at was like a 9 panel one that was $200.
Yeah. So, and these panels, I wouldn't say they're big, nor they're small. But
They're about, I'd say like one of them maybe like height wise the size of like a 16-inch computer.
oh, that's pretty big. I, I
Well,
always I always thought they were like this. Like one panel was the size of a toilet paper. To be honest.
toilet paper?
No,
An entire toilet paper or like
no, just like an unrolled roll. Just like a toilet paper, like the size. Like you can put it next to it, it'd be like the same size.
no, it is bigger.
Okay, because I always thought because when I see them, it's always like they're tiny, and I
No,
thought
yeah, they are bigger. I'm looking at the site now and they do look bigger than that.
okay, so they're expensive, but not that expensive now that I think about it. But
It's
it's still
$22 per single panel.
yeah, it's compared to an actual light bulb. I there is a difference somewhat.
Yeah, it gets to a level of like, if I don't know. There's a lot of things with it that can be, and as great as RGB is, there is that level of it's great, it's great, it's great. Now I just need light.
I mean, we did have RGB light strips back in our dorm.
Yeah, and those were great, but at a certain point, we
We were
just kept it
done.
to yeah. We were just done, and we were just like, we just need light, and we would just press the button, turn them on. We stopped changing colors at a certain point. I'm forgetting exactly what color we kept them at, but I think we just
Oh, I
kept.
think it was like blue-ish. It was like
Uh,
bluish white.
I think it just ended up being like a white because RGB is great, but at a certain point, you just need light,
Yeah. When
and
it
adding
gets
color doesn't. It does.
yeah,
It
it's fun.
subtracts certain light.
It's fun when it first. I mean, hey, if you are a party type of person, they'd be perfect for you. But when you just want lights and RGB is one your first go to, I think the first week you have fun changing through the colors, but after a while you just like it's
You're
just
done.
some,
You're
you're
done.
done. You're done. Um, yeah. Where do we go
so,
from there?
I had brought up my mouse.
Yeah,
So I have the Razer Naga Pro. Came out actually just a few weeks ago,
yeah. Well,
and
when Jacob
yeah,
got it,
when I got it,
it was literally within the week when it came
yeah,
out.
like 6 days prior, they put out a YouTube video saying now announcing,
Yeah.
and I have to. So I'm gonna preface this with saying my previous mouse was the Razer Naga 2014.
Hmm.
So, and I love that mouse. It's fantastic. But my job has me working on a MacBook, which doesn't have a ton of Razer support.
Which is the Razer Synapse V3.
Well, the 2014 does work with V2.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. But I'm saying like Razer Synapse V3 doesn't work on Mac.
Yeah, Razer Synapse V3 is only on Windows. So my new Razer Naga Pro which only works with V3, has a built-in onboard memory. So I have it modified in which I was able to, on my Windows computer, I was able to set up all the
Profile.
mappings as I wanted.
Yeah.
I actually only set up one profile because I don't need the others.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to move it over to my MacBook, and it keeps all of those, and it's fantastic. You know, as a developer, I use like command left bracket, command right bracket a lot. So I have the two, so I usually use the 2-button side panel because those are what those are mapped to, which is fantastic because, like, even in a browser, in Google Chrome, because I'm a Google fanboy, um, back and forward is command left bracket and command right bracket, respectively. I also have the little charging base because I got it in a bundle. So, which is RGB because that's all they had.
It's Razer for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it is Razer for you. And it's great because the mouse is wireless. It's like the first wireless mouse I've had. It's super great to have a wireless mouse now. I never see any like lag spikes, latency problems. It's so great. And at the end of the day, I just like magnetically put it on the base. Fantastic. I love it.
And so, for those who don't know what he's talking about, the mouse has like a side panel, which is where your thumb, if you're right-handed, where your thumb rests on.
Yeah,
And
I
those
don't know if they have a left-handed one
yeah,
yet. They do have a left-handed Razer Naga, but I don't think they have a Razer Naga Pro for left-handed.
yeah.
Sorry.
So for right-handed, where your thumb rests, there's like a panel it's magnetically, you can detach it, and they have three different panels. One with 2 buttons, the other with
6
9,
buttons,
not 6,
and another one with 12 buttons.
12 buttons. And
They on the website they have like the 12-button one is for MMOs, the 6-button one is I think for MOBAs, and then the 2-button one is for FPS.
yeah, so with the 9 buttons and 6 buttons, you can map them to like the num pads, and so it's like a quick change between the two. And for the Razer mouse, there's two forms of connectivity. One is Bluetooth, and the other, which is they call the hyperspeed, which is via USB.
Well,
And
no, it's via a receiver, just like the Logitech.
the USB receiver.
And technically, there's 3 forms of connectivity because you could also just plug
it
a
in.
cable in. Yeah.
Yes. But I mean, like,
Which
wirelessly.
is also really nice.
Yeah. I mean, and also, if you guys don't know what he means by the base, he literally means a dock, like an actual dock.
Yes. It's just like a little charging dock, like you would put an iPhone 3 into all those years ago.
it's
well, because that was like the biggest thing, like the iHome, which is like this charging base with speakers. That was literally all the rage. Like,
oh my! I remember
10 years
that.
ago.
It usually is like with kids and teenagers. You always have the iTouch instead of the iPhone. I don't think iPhone came out when the iTouch came out. No, they didn't.
Yeah, it was iPhone, and then they were like, "This is great. Let's make a version that's not phone, so that we can make more money."
I remember being the iTouch first, and then the iPhone.
No, I mean, if you want, we can do. Like, we are at computers.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not sitting at my desk or my messy setup.
I'll look it up. 2007, September 5th, 2007 is when the first iTouch came out.
Mm-hmm.
And iPhone, June 19th, 2007.
So
iPhone came out first.
Just like the chicken or the egg. I don't remember seeing iPhones when I go to like Walmart and stuff.
Well, because iPhones, I mean, they were so new, and like the whole concept of smartphones was so new at the time.
Yeah, true.
That, it was just like, oh man, a phone that's smart, that's touchscreen, that could go on the web and do this and do this and do this. But then there's also that level of like in 2007, not a lot of kids had phones.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Now,
know, like I
yeah.
was in middle school and not everyone had phones because at that time it was just like you would ask your parents like, "Hey, can you call so and so we can have a play date?"
Or like we had home phones, landlines. God.
Exactly. But, you know, then there was the iTouches, which, you know, a lot of kids saw as like basically a Game Boy with that you could also
Touchscreen.
listen to music on. It was
Hmm.
touchscreen. It had this, it had this. It was just like a different thing. So, like, I'm sure. I mean, you know, it was also like 13 years ago. So I'm
Yeah,
sure there were iPhones at like Walmart, but you may not have known the difference because they did come out in the same year.
yeah. I think it's also because it probably was in the phone department, not the technology. Like it's
Yes, yes.
like a small different area because like they have an area just for smartphones
Yeah, what reason
or
would you
phones
have for like
to go
what?
there.
How
Yeah.
old were we in 2007?
I mean, that's 13 years ago. We're like, I was 11. You're probably
Yeah,
12.
like when we were 11, what reason would we have to go to the phone department?
Yeah. And I remember explaining it to, I think, my parents or my aunts and uncles that the iPhone is basically an iPod Touch where you
With
can call.
calling.
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah, and nowadays it would be like the iTouch is basically the iPhone, but you can't call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No one uses iTouch anymore.
anymore, yeah, but like back then, that was all the rage.
Yeah. Yeah. It was everything, you know. If
Yeah,
you had iTouch, it was almost considered that if you had an iTouch, you're well
you were the
off.
cool kid.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
It wasn't even that you were well off. You were the cool kid on the playground.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey guys, want to see my iTouch?
And I also remember at that point you were able to like put movies on it, so you could be on the school
Well, yeah,
bus.
it was basically it was a media device that you could also play games on.
Yeah.
So you had movies, you had music, you had like all of these things. It was just a different for that time. It was, and if I remember, the whole craze about the iPhone was, I think like oh God, why Steve Jobs was like, what if we put together a web browser, a music player, a phone, a this, a this, a this, like the entire thing. And, you know, that was like, yeah, what if you did do all that? Well, we have it.
Now we've been going a little off topic with iPod Touch, but
Just a little.
just a little. It's just how we are. But yeah. So my mouse, I have the Logitech Master MX3s. Previously, I had the MX Master 2. It's a 2S X. I'm forgetting the exact name, but it's 2 and 3. And I was on the wireless mouse way longer than he was,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
he just didn't want to let go of his wired mouse.
Well, it was more the fact that like my wired mouse still worked great.
Yeah,
I didn't need to, because I mean, it was Razer Naga, and if I wanted a mouse that was just as comfortable, and unfortunately, at this point, I just trust Razer Naga too much.
hmm yeah. So yeah, I got the Master 2X pretty early on, couple years, like 2 or 3 years ago. I used it. I basically used it for about a year when the 3 came out, and I was like, I just got this mouse, literally.
The
But
life of a futurist.
exactly, and you know what? I still bought it, and at the beginning, when I tried to compare the two, there wasn't much of a difference. But once I start using the 3, like as my daily driver, and I just periodically I just try out the 2, there's a huge difference. And it's literally what they say, like the scroll wheel is more magnetic, so it's a lot more smoother, and it clicks. And then they changed the little form factor of how you held it and stuff. But it's in the beginning when you compare it, you can't see the difference unless you use it daily. And wireless mouse is a lot. Is way to go.
Yeah, at this point in the game, like 10 years ago, I'll say, Like at that time, yeah, you'd use wired mouse all the time because you got better this, got better that.
Yeah,
At
it
this
wasn't
point,
as
and I'd say the same thing with keyboards. I mean, right now to talk, I'm using my Bose headphones, wireless headphones. There's like we're in the age of wireless now.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, right now I'm using it connect of a aux cord or jack, headphone jack right now. Since these are like at 30%, so I don't want them to die in midway through the podcast. So,
Yeah, I was charging these right before we started.
like, and I personally uh wanted a head over ear headphone, and the reason why I say wanted instead of I needed is because my ears get hot, and then
Yeah.
when I did buy another over ear headphones
Well, what
weren't as
headphones
good.
are you having right now?
I have the Sony WH something something 3 MX3.
And
It's
they're not
basically
Samsung.
okay. Samsung has the AKG ones, but the point is these headphones are the top of the line. Before the 4 came out, which came out this like a month ago, these were the top of the line for noise canceling, and it always gets compared to the Bose Quiet Comfort, the one he doesn't have.
I have the Bose Quiet Comfort 35 too.
Yeah,
Uh, and the ones that recently came out at the time of this recording are the what is it, the 700?
something like that.
Yeah.
The names are ridiculous.
I mean, I'm sure there's a reason for the names, but
it reminds me of one of the memes I saw. It's like we need a naming for these headphones, and
yeah.
literally the person just smacked their head on the keyboard. Perfect, that's the name.
At some point in my head, it's just gonna be like, these are the Bose headphones, Quiet Comfort Gyms.
And if you guys are wondering why I haven't gotten the 4 yet, well, because I literally just got these headphones and they were on sale for $80 off, so I paid about $280, where the original price is about $350. And the new headphones, the 4, are also at $350. But the main difference between the two, besides better quality, is that the 4 has the where you can take off your headphones and it'll just stop. Basically, the proximity sensor, basically, so you can pause a music when you take it off. Whereas these ones you can't. It'll just keep playing. But I feel like that's the main difference. Also that reminds me, the Bluetooth connectivity. It has multiple connectivity, so basically I can switch between my laptop and my phone without ever having to reconnect to Bluetooth. It's more seamless, basically.
Yeah, I feel like with headphones. So as much as we are futurists, I think headphones are the one thing that we're like, now I want to use this pair of headphones for like the next 10, 20 years.
I
Maybe
mean,
not that long,
but
but
like
like
as long as they work, or unless they come out with even crazier
if they come
features.
out with one where like it could like scratch my back for me or like get me like some water, like yeah, headphones are headphones to a point. They may get better. I don't need the super noise canceling because, like, really nowadays, the only time that I use noise canceling is when I'm on a plane. Nowadays, meaning like the last few years, of course, not this year.
Yeah. And I feel and headphones, they come out not every year, but a couple 2 3 years with new ones and stuff.
Enough times where it's just like,
And if you
you
have
know
never
what, I'm
bought
fine.
if you have never bought a headphones before, obviously go for the latest one. If you
Yeah,
can afford it.
go for like one of the things I always say is for certain things like headphones, if you're going to get a pair of headphones, don't cheap out. If you cheap out, then you're not going to be like super happy. Get something that you're going to like, that you're going to protect.
Yeah.
If you're not going to, because if you cheap out, you're not going to protect them, and then like they may last a while, but you'll be like, why are these like so bad? Well, you paid like $20 for them versus, our headphones, which are more in the $350 range,
Yeah,
which whenever I'm not using them, I put them on a headphone stand or I put them in the case. Like
I put
I
them in right
never,
away. Yeah,
yeah, they're never like I never throw them anywhere.
and I'm gonna try. Recently, I started to use alcohol wipes to wipe down the pads just in case I get sweaty with them, so they don't get like I don't know bacteria in it
Yeah.
that would degrade the glue or how they stick it on. And yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I know if you're broke and stuff, it's all about the quantity over quality. But once you start using quality over quantity, that's when you
You
start.
really kind of be like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's when you realize, yeah, all those times when I bought quantity over quality, they weren't really worth it.
Now,
Um,
type of headphones on that. No, it's like, I mean, just do your own research there. I'm probably always going to be sticking with Bose because, I mean, recently I had to replace the ear pads for my
mm,
Bose. And, like, if you look at them now, you would never guess that I've had them for a few years because all I needed to do was pay, I think it was like 20 to $35 for a new set of ear pads on both sides. I put them in, felt like brand new. Like
yeah,
I couldn't believe because like I put one in and I kept the other one in because it wasn't affecting sound quality yet. And then I think like a day or two later, I was like, okay, I have to change this. I put it in. I can't even begin to say like just how nice of the fact that I have that option that I don't have to spend like another $300 on a whole new set of headphones all because the ear pads broke. I could literally just order like $35, get new ear pads, and just replace them on my own. I don't even need to go to like Best Buy or a repair shop to get them repaired.
yeah, and that's what was one of the things I was jealous of Jacob because Bose. Yeah, because for whatever reason, Sony doesn't have like replacement pads on their site, but there is like third party replacements for the headphones.
Yeah, I just
Uh,
went to the official Bose website for these because like actually the same day that I got them and I started looking for tutorials, I like the tutorial I was watching was for a different site that sold like different colored ones and they were like $15 cheaper and I was like, God dang, I should have gotten that.
yeah,
But there is that level of like if you get them from the official site, there is that level of quality that you get there.
the quality control, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's their stuff. They don't want you to be saying that they cheaped out on something they paid a lot for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. The thing is that if you take good care of anything, honestly, like wipe it down, clean it ever so often, it'll
It'll
last.
last
It'll last
forever.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So on the topic of headphones, let's switch to earbuds.
if you guys think these little transitions are a bit cringy, write down in the comments.
So I've been using so one of my favorite things to do is ride on my one wheel, which is one of my favorite purchases I got. Um, but I needed a way to listen to music, and there's not a chance in hell that I'm gonna be bringing my $300 Bose headphones out with me because I can't wear a helmet with these on.
Exactly. Safety
So
first.
yes, always safety first. So I got a pair of like $35 headphones on Amazon, and they worked kinda. They did their job. I mean, they were $35. As we just said, quality, but these were just a pair of earbuds that I just wanted to play music as I was on my one wheel.
Hmm.
And so, they did their job. Battery kind of met, sound worked. But then earlier this year, I believe it was earlier this year. It
I
could have
don't
been.
know. It was definitely during where we're still in college. So it was like at least a couple years ago when
Yeah,
Pixel Buds
no,
came
no, no,
out.
no. I think last year at Google I/O they announced the Pixel Buds.
No, it was no, no, no. It was definitely when we were still on campus. And you graduated last year. I graduated this year. Because I remember we were talking it to.
Yeah. So no. So then it had to have been last year.
No, you graduated last year.
No. That's what I'm saying. In like May of 2019.
Okay. You're making me having to look this up.
So, like, the Pixel Buds 2 were announced, and we're just gonna forget the Pixel Buds 1 existed.
Okay, I was talking about the Pixel Buds 1.
Oh no! But I wasn't talking about because I have the Pixel Buds 2. Why would I be talking about the Pixel Buds 1?
Well, because you didn't specify. Aha!
You got me there. Anyway, so then last year the Pixel Buds 2 were announced, and like they improved everything.
Oh, they improved a lot of things. Yeah,
everything. I want to say I think they even improved the battery.
Oh yeah, they have to.
Yeah. They don't have to.
Well, with this
the
day
Pixel
and age,
4 has a worse battery than the Pixel 3.
Well, that's Google. I can't help it. But with this day and age, everything needs to have a bigger battery or a better battery.
Better battery, not always bigger.
I mean, yeah, better battery usually equates to quote unquote bigger battery, but it's usually just the software side of battery optimization, really. And I don't know if they have.
I'm gonna leave that comment, but go on.
I don't know if they have started the lithium battery, not lithium. What is it? Graphite or graphene batteries, I think what's called. I don't think they have it used for consumer level yet, but apparently graphene is the future of batteries, since it's a lot safer and a huge battery capacity.
Yeah, and we'll just have to wait for that.
Yeah.
None of us are battery experts
or electricians. That matter.
Or electricians, so we'd have to do some research on that, and our research will still be a little restricted just due to the fact that, again, we're not battery experts, we're not electricians.
We have no knowledge. We just read what we see.
Exactly. So the Pixel Buds 2 came out in like super white or whatever Google's name for them.
Pure white, probably.
Pure white, yeah. And so I also dark mode everything. Everything. Like, there are very few things that I have that are light mode. My IDE is dark mode. My browser is dark mode. Like, everything I have is dark mode. So seeing the fact that the case for them was going to be in white only kind of hurt. Like, legitimately, it did kind of hurt. I was like, oh man, when is the Almost Black coming out? So it wasn't until like end of summer of this year that the Almost Black finally came out, and I got them. Took forever, and I have to say, putting them in for the first time, they were legitimately the most comfortable pair of earbuds I ever put in my ears.
And also for our listeners, Jacob has really, really big ears.
Yes, and I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, and people, as he has told me before, he's been called Dumbo because of his big ears.
I didn't say that in here, but
yeah.
Thank you for now giving me a title.
Well, it's your big ears. What can you say? And with those big ears, a lot of the in-ear earbuds from, just say, like Samsung or AirPods, they don't fit them well.
Yeah, it's always a little uncomfortable. And the other thing is, a lot of them have the little
wingtips
out thing.
Oh yeah, like the AirPods just hang on your ear.
Yeah, and for one wheeling, having the strap would always kind of hit it, so sometimes it would just fall out.
Mm-hmm.
But Pixel Buds don't have that. Oh, by the way, I also got a case for the case, which is navy blue, because blue is my favorite color, and I could not live with the white case. I just couldn't.
In my case, when I pre-ordered my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, they came with the original Pixel. You make me
Yeah.
say Pixel. The Galaxy Buds, the original Galaxy Buds. Then they went on to Galaxy Bud 2, or I'm forgetting what's called. Then the
I don't
latest
remember.
one, which is the Galaxy Buds Live, and I haven't used it or haven't gone to buy them, mainly because yes, earbuds are great. I just never find myself to use them as much
Yeah,
anymore.
like
Uh,
if I'm going outside, if I'm going for a walk, I'll use my Pixel Buds because I don't want people to be seeing my $300
yeah,
Bose
headphones.
headphones just walking around. I'd
And
rather
then
people see my like $180 Pixel Buds, which just fit in my ear and you could barely see in the first place.
yeah, and it's like nowadays there's just there. I feel rather uncomfortable walking out with these because you literally just like yank them off and you run away with them,
Yeah,
and it's just
while with like earbuds, you have to get in their ear.
well. Then again, no one's gonna take it, you know.
Well, it's a lot harder to take them than.
Well, you also need the case because that's how they charge them.
Well, yeah. Well, even if they have their own case, now you have to set like the Bluetooth up.
Yeah. Whereas the headphones, you just take them and you can just resell them easily.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Um,
yeah.
but so the deciding factor with me for the Pixel Buds was because like as I'm riding my one wheel, sometimes I want to talk with people. I want to talk with Jack all the time, just because he's my best friend.
I
And
mean, you have to point that out. Like,
well, and like sometimes, I mean, sometimes those talks are more like, "What the hell, man?" Other
yeah,
times a lot of times we're having conversations like this.
yeah.
But the thing that sold it for me was this one review where this guy was outside wearing a mask and it was windy, and he was on a call with them, and the other side said that they could hear him clearly. That basically sold it for me because I got him I got on my one wheel and I called Jack up and he was like, "Yeah, I could hear you pretty fine. You have to be moving, but yeah, I could hear you pretty fine."
Or like talking,
And
talk
talking, yeah, sorry.
like voice activity. Like
Yeah,
if he didn't when he didn't speak, it was just silent. Like voice activity was on and on. And the one thing afterwards, or that you noticed, what you didn't tell me, was that uh, every so often you have to reconnect the Bluetooth just to get the
yeah.
voice right.
I'd say that's a software side of things. That's probably something that can be fixed with a software update.
But it's not really like a huge turn off.
Yeah, no. Like,
Yeah,
in the big scheme of things, they worked exactly how I want them to. I could go on my one wheel and I could have a conversation with someone on the phone while wearing them. And, you know, the strap of my helmet, because safety first, again, doesn't bother them because, nothing hangs out.
hmm
They're just super nice and super great.
and for those who still has headphone jacks, just stick with. I would say stick with wired. If you don't if you're on the fence and you're not sure,
I don't even know if I'd say that. If you're not sure, what I'd say is get like a $10-$20 pair of wireless ones. See how they feel. Like, I know we just said like quality over quantity, but if you're not sure and you just want to test it out, like,
yeah.
with my Philips Hughes, I got one to see if I would like it. And I
And
loved it, so I got two more.
yeah, I mean, for me, the reason why I said like stick with wired ones because I would say earbuds, the wireless ones, they're getting there, but they're not to a good standard. Like I would. Here's the thing: I wouldn't drop down a couple hundred for the Sony's version of wireless versions with the top of the line,
Yeah.
because it's getting there. I wouldn't say they're at the finest yet, since because you know
Well,
the
you
whole
also have to remember, like, they are just earbuds.
yeah.
They're not headphones, which has all of this other stuff and are made for a more deeper, rich sound.
And then they're small. The small form factor makes it so they can't really pack anything in it, and that's why I
Yeah.
say keep if you're not sure and you don't want to spend in that much money, I would say just keep with the wired one, because with the wired ones you can buy like ridiculously priced ones and they will definitely sound good because you're connected.
If you want the pair, if you want to try like the pair that I got before the Pixel Buds, it was like the Amazon Choice one. It was
Yeah,
like the latest model too. God knows if I remember the model because I don't.
and this is not sponsored because
Not sponsored.
this is literally our pilot podcast. With so many YouTubers or people are saying they're sponsored by Raycons, I don't know how cheap they are. Maybe you give it a try. I don't know.
They're like I think they're like
$70, I think. I remember saying they're like half the price or something like that. But I'm saying like if here,
but like I did look them up and I wasn't I wasn't impressed with the price. I don't exactly remember the price of it. But with that said, like yeah, we could have gone with Raycons and this and that, but
yeah,
like for me, I saw the Pixel Buds, and again, the fact that I'm able to have a conversation on my one wheel, also because it's Google and I'm a Google fanboy. I also want to bring up the fact that the touch controls are so nice, so nice on them. Like I have never misclicked anything on them. On the $35 pair that I got, I would constantly misclick. Just a little press would do something like, and on the others, like you would swipe up to increase volume, and it was just really annoying. But on the Pixel Buds, they got their touch game on point.
Yeah. I mean, for the Galaxy Buds, I'm not. It's very evident in my sigh there, but I'm not really that impressed.
Yeah, I have legitimately forgotten that I've had my Pixel Buds in sometimes. Like I've gone just to sit down somewhere, and I would like play a YouTube video on my Roku TV, another everyday item I use, and all of a sudden I just hear like I'm like, why is it so muffled? Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, like unless I decide to buy the Pixel Buds Live, yeah, I'm not right.
Pixel Buds Live.
Got the Galaxy Buds Live.
I'm glad you're coming over to my side.
I mean, here's the thing. Not anytime soon, I'm going to be buying a wireless earbuds. Mainly because they're still working on it.
Well, maybe next year if they have like a bundle with the Samsung Galaxy, whatever.
If they do a pre-order, yeah, maybe. But yeah, I got my earbuds, the wireless ones, free for the pre-order. With the recent pre-order status, it doesn't look like you'd be getting anything besides like a $50 credit or anything like that. Earbuds. If you need them, go for it. If you don't, just try it. One thing I would say,
if you're looking at a new phone and the thing that's holding you back is the fact that they're not is that it doesn't jack. Yeah. Then I'd say use wireless ones because as I said before with the mouse, at this day and age, it's the age of wireless. There, like back like 10, 20 years ago, that's when so many people were worried about like, oh, there's going to be so much audio lag, there's going to be so much like mouse lag or whatever the correct terminology for that is, latency, blah blah blah. Nowadays, you really can't tell the difference more than half of the time. Like the annoying part is you have to charge them, but you have to charge your phone every day. It's like it is just another thing to charge. And if you get the Pixel Buds to charge them, it's USB-C. Most things I have to charge are USB-C, and you can also just wirelessly charge my Pixel Buds. So it's like, it's okay to cut the cord now. Like literally, like what was it like 2-3 years ago when the iPhone cut the cord and got rid of the audio jack. Like,
well, that's how. Yeah,
that's how it started.
Yeah.
and everyone was in a titsy because they were like, "Oh no, they're not good. They're blah blah blah." You know what? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't used wired headphones since my Bose headphones last died, and that was like that was so long. That wasn't even this year. I couldn't tell you the last time that happened.
And also a disclaimer is that this is on the consumer level. If you're
Yes.
if you're a professional mixer or anything like that, stick what you want to
That
do.
yes, stick with what you do.
Like,
We're consumers in that market. We're not experts on audio. We're, as this is going to be called, tech futurists.
yeah, and like I know with the top of the line are usually all wired because
Yeah.
they don't want to mess with the wireless portion of it.
Yeah,
But
and
it's understandable.
I even think for those at a certain point they may end up switching to wireless too
But
because
not anytime soon.
not anytime soon. I don't want to say that because we're not experts in that field.
Exactly. Maybe who knows? Maybe in 5 years' time, they might have the debut in wireless
Yeah.
when we're so with that. I feel like we should end the podcast here since we don't want to be too long. If you guys want us to talk even longer, let us know in the comments. And mainly because we don't really have like a script. Not, we're
A
talking
structure.
a structure exactly, and we don't have like not like time periods, but like as he was saying, structure or topics to go on. And this is just really just rambling
Yeah,
right
which
now.
we do. Like, this is the exact kind of conversation we have normally, just about random stuff that we think about. Mostly have to do with tech, actually.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It,
because
it's like it's more rare for us not to talk about tech, which we do have those conversations, but it is pretty rare.
I mean, I mean, with the other topics, if you're wondering, it's not anything special. I think like it's not, okay. It's not perverted. Any of those topics. It's more
It's
of
just random stuff that we happen to think about, like
or
does
something.
like if we were to stop time, don't we lose gravity? Which is an actual conversation we've had.
Yeah, or just politics in general, which
Where we won't cover that ever.
no,
But
we
don't forget
won't.
to vote. Don't forget to
Don't forget
vote.
to vote. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna end the podcast here because it's gonna be it's gonna be an hour or so, and we don't want it to be way too long or way too short. But
Yeah.
if you want us to have a better structure or a longer podcast, or just give us your feedback, and
We'll
we'll
go from there.
yeah, we'll go from there. All right. And this is Jack
And Jacob.
signing off.